Have you ever felt like there's some invisible force pulling you back every time you try to change your life? You learn about the law of attraction, you visualize, write, and mentalize, but nothing seems to budge. It's like trying to run with invisible chains on your feet. You see others achieving what they want, thriving, living the reality you also desire. And deep down, you wonder, what are they doing that I'm not? The answer might seem simple, but it's deeper than it appears. There's something inside you blocking the universe's creative flow. Something that doesn't shout or reveal itself, obviously, but silently sabotages everything in the quiet corners of your mind. This silent force has a name, and yes, it might be acting right now as you're reading these words. It kicks in when you feel the urge to put off visualization practice until later. It shows up when you give up on repeating affirmations because you don't feel anything anymore. It's like an internal fog that weakens your energy without you even noticing. And worst of all, it disguises itself as tiredness, lack of time, or demotivation. But all of that is just a cover. Its real name is mental laziness. And what if I told you this laziness is your manifestation's greatest enemy? Not the government, not your bank balance, not even your past, but this invisible state of apathy that locks up action, vibration, and faith. That's why, before any technique or secret, you need to understand this enemy lurking in your mind. Because only when you see it clearly can you begin to unleash your true power to manifest. And starting now, that's exactly what we're going to do. Mental laziness isn't about wanting to lie around all day or just feeling sleepy when you try to meditate. It's more subtle, more treacherous. It sneaks into the small decisions of your day, like choosing to scroll Instagram instead of writing in your gratitude journal. It disguises itself as logic when you say, "I'm not in the mood to visualize today." It presents itself as a harmless excuse, like, "I'll do it later." But in reality, it's the biggest detour for your creative energy. Mental laziness is the state where your mind seeks the easiest, most automatic, and least energetically demanding path. But manifesting isn't automatic. It's a conscious process that requires focus, intention, and vibrational elevation. Your mind, conditioned to repeat patterns, tries to avoid any effort that breaks your emotional comfort zone. And that's where the invisible saboteur comes in. Your mind starts convincing you that waiting is safer, that taking action is risky, that imagining is pointless. And you accept this internal theater without realizing you're being manipulated by your own limiting beliefs. Imagine a silent antivirus running in the background of your system. Every time a new program tries to install a new belief, habit, or reality, this emotional antivirus detects it as a threat and blocks it. You try to change, but you feel a weight. You start a new habit, but you give up. Your mind wants to keep everything the same because sameness is comfortable. And that's where the law of attraction begins to fail for you, because your vibration is in energy-saving mode. And in that mode, the universe can't find enough frequency to respond to your desires. Now that you recognize this internal enemy, the next step is to see exactly how it sabotages your connection to the law of attraction. Because sabotage is never direct. It's silent, sneaky, and strategic. And that's what we're about to uncover. The sabotage happens behind the scenes. It doesn't come out and say, "I'm going to stop you from manifesting your dreams." It disguises itself. It works between the lines of your habits. You wake up and, instead of starting your day with intention, you grab your phone. Your vibration is already diverted outward. You promise yourself you'll visualize before bed, but tiredness takes over. Your energy starts the day fragmented and ends without direction. This isn't a lack of time. This is your mind operating on autopilot, that same pattern that wants to protect you from the new, even though this new is exactly what you desire. Mental laziness acts like an anesthetic. You remember your goals, but you no longer feel that enthusiasm. Visualization becomes an empty ritual. Affirmations lose their power. You start acting like you're just ticking boxes, without vibration. Connecting with the universe requires presence, but your mind pushes you toward constant distraction. And the worst part? You don't even realize you're being sabotaged, because the saboteur lives inside your own internal dialogue. It tells you that you need to feel inspired to act, that forcing it won't work, that today's not a good day. And so, without realizing it, you postpone your manifestation until you feel like it. But the motivation never comes because your mind is controlling the frequency. The law of attraction doesn't respond to what you intellectually want. It responds to what you consistently vibrate. And if your vibration is one of doubt, tiredness, and distraction, that's what you manifest. More doubt, more tiredness, more distraction. This is where many people give up on the process. They think this doesn't work, when in reality, they never gave the energy enough time to stabilize. They never overcame the silent resistance that kept them stuck in stagnation. But the good news is, now that you see the mechanism, you can start reversing the game. The question that arises now is, are you really vibrating at the same level as what you desire? You say you want prosperity, love, freedom, but are your mind, body, and emotions really saying the same thing? Most people believe that simply wanting something is enough to attract it, but the law of attraction doesn't respond to desire, it responds to alignment. And alignment means vibrational coherence, thinking, feeling, and acting at the same frequency as what you want to manifest. When one of these three is out of sync, the universe receives a confused signal, and the result? Nothing changes. Or, worse, you attract the opposite of what you wanted. It's like trying to tune into a classical music station while keeping the dial set to heavy metal. No matter how much you wish for a different song, if you don't change the tuning, the sound stays the same. And that's what happens when you affirm, I want prosperity, but feel fear every time you look at your bank account. Or when you say you want love, but carry unresolved anger or resentment. The real vibration isn't in what you say, it's in what you repeatedly feel, deeply believe, and consistently do. This misalignment isn't your fault. It's a reflection of years of conditioning. But if you want to manifest a new reality, you need to start aligning your thoughts with your emotions and actions. It's no use visualizing wealth for 5 minutes if you spend the rest of the day thinking about debts. It's no use repeating everything is flowing if you act like you're stuck. The universe responds to the totality of your energy, not just isolated moments. It's time for a vibrational X-ray. Ask yourself honestly, are my thoughts propelling me forward or holding me back? Are my emotions elevated or weighed down by doubt? And are my actions in harmony with the reality I desire, or do they reinforce the one I want to leave behind? This analysis is the first step to breaking the cycle of mental laziness, because when you start aligning everything, the energy begins to flow for real. And that's where the true power of manifestation is born. Imagine 3 vertices forming, an invisible but powerful triangle: thought, emotion, and action. This is the triangle of power. This is where true manifestation happens. When these 3 forces are perfectly aligned, thought gives direction, emotion provides energy, and action materializes. If one of them is out of sync, the triangle falls apart. Manifestation weakens. You might desire strongly, but without emotion, your request doesn't vibrate. You might feel deeply, but without action, nothing manifests. And you might act frequently, but without mental clarity, you'll move in circles. Thought is the seed. It needs to be planted with intention and focus. It's not enough to think once and expect the universe to do the rest. You need to nurture that thought regularly, water it with affirmations and visualizations. Emotion is the water that brings life to that seed. When you feel as if it's already real, your energetic field vibrates in harmony with the desired reality. And finally, action is the sun. It's what makes everything visible, tangible, real. Acting proves to the universe that you're ready, that it's not just a desire, it's a decision. Mental laziness breaks this triangle. It makes you think without emotion, or feel without acting, or act without direction. It creates holes in the structure of your manifestation. But now that you know this sacred geometry of creation, you can start rebuilding. You can observe every day where your imbalance lies, and you can adjust. Because the secret isn't in doing everything perfectly, but in keeping your awareness active, in knowing where to adjust, when to restart, and how to realign. From here, we're moving out of theory and into practice, because knowing is good, but feeling and applying, that's what truly transforms. In the next chapter, you'll discover the hidden symptoms of mental laziness, the ones no one told you about, but that explain why your life hasn't moved the way you dreamed. Mental laziness doesn't always present itself as inertia or lack of willpower. Most of the time, it hides behind seemingly harmless behaviors that silently drain your power to manifest. Do you feel a slight frustration when you can't finish a visualization exercise? Do you often feel scattered or bored when repeating affirmations? Do you jump from technique to technique without ever diving deep? These are classic signs, not of disinterest, but of mental resistance. Another very common symptom is spiritual procrastination disguised as knowledge-seeking. You watch videos, read books, consume content, but you don't apply it. And you justify it by saying, "I'm not ready yet," or "I need to understand better." In reality, your mind is distracting you. It's feeding the illusion of progress without any real movement. This is mental laziness. It's the comfort zone using spirituality as a shield to avoid change. There's also excessive self-criticism. I can't focus. My mind is too restless. I'm not disciplined enough. These phrases, repeated mentally, turn into beliefs. Over time, these beliefs reinforce exactly what you're trying to change. The loop sets in. You try to break free, but each failed attempt reinforces the idea that you're incapable. This cycle only breaks with awareness and reprogramming. And perhaps the most dangerous symptom of all, complacency masked as acceptance. You start saying, "Maybe this life is what the universe wants for me," when deep down, you know you're just tired of trying. This isn't spiritual surrender, this is energetic resignation, and the truth is, you don't need to fight it anymore. You need to illuminate it, because now that you recognize these symptoms, you can start addressing them with clarity. In the next few minutes, we'll bring in simple yet transformative practices to dissolve these blocks. Because understanding isn't enough anymore. Now is the time to break the cycle, with awareness, with technique, and with aligned vibrational action. Now that you've identified the symptoms of mental laziness, it's time to take action, to break this cycle and unlock your manifesting mode. The first step is to break the automatic patterns that fuel resistance. And for that, you need simple, consistent actions. Don't wait for motivation. It will come as you start to act. Action generates energy. When you act, the universe responds. And by acting in alignment, you start creating momentum. One of the first strategies to overcome mental laziness is daily commitment. This means literally setting aside a specific moment every day for manifestation practice. Don't leave for tomorrow what you can feel and do today. Commit to your vision. A simple exercise. Write your manifestation goal as if it's already real. Use the present tense and detail how your life would look if it had already happened. By doing this, you start to emotionally connect with the reality you want to create, and this dissolves mental laziness. Another powerful strategy is micro-action. Sometimes, just taking the first step generates the energy needed to continue. This could be something small, like writing a positive affirmation, making a phone call, or even making a decision in the moment. The important thing is not to stay still. If you're feeling stuck, do something small and meaningful that aligns with your manifestation. The universe doesn't need big steps. It just needs to see that you're ready to move in the right direction. Now, if the problem is an excess of negative thoughts and constant doubt, the practice of mental reprogramming can be the key. Start replacing limiting thoughts with powerful positive affirmations, always focused on your goal. I am capable of manifesting my reality. I am in total harmony with the universe. These affirmations should be repeated with feeling. The secret isn't in just saying the words, but in feeling what those words represent to you. Remember, mental laziness dissipates through focused action and emotional connection to your goals. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Start now. And as you move forward, the resistance will begin to crumble because you'll be creating new vibrational patterns. And that's when you become unstoppable in the manifestation process. Persistence is the key that ensures your alignment doesn't get lost amid the challenges that arise along the way. When you embark on the path of manifestation, you encounter obstacles. It's inevitable. Challenges come to test your determination, your faith, and your ability to stay aligned with your vision, even when the world seems to oppose what you desire. But it's precisely in these moments that the energy of persistence becomes crucial. Persistence doesn't mean fighting against what's difficult or forcing the process. It means continuing to believe and act consistently, even when immediate results aren't visible. Staying aligned isn't about expecting everything to manifest immediately. It's about maintaining a high vibration, even when results don't appear as quickly as you'd like. It's recognizing that the universe doesn't operate on a human clock. It operates in perfect synchronicity. When obstacles arise, you need to remember the greater purpose behind your manifestation journey. Reconnect with your why. If you're manifesting financial abundance, for example, visualize the freedom it brings, the positive impact it can have on your life and the lives of those around you. If you're manifesting love, connect with the feeling of being loved, understood, and supported. By staying emotionally connected to your goal, you transform the challenge into an opportunity for growth. The practice of persistence also involves not clinging to what hasn't yet manifested. This is crucial. When you cling to the how, or when your manifestation will occur, you create resistance. Expectation breeds anxiety, which only weakens alignment. Instead, practice full trust in the process. Trust that everything is happening in perfect order. And by doing so, you release the need for control, allowing the universe to bring answers in the most unexpected ways. Don't give up when results don't show up immediately. This is part of the process. Persistence is the fuel that keeps the energy of manifestation alive, regardless of external circumstances. Letting go doesn't mean giving up or abandoning your goal. On the contrary, letting go is releasing control over how and when the manifestation will occur. Expectation, when excessive, creates a mental prison. You become so fixated on expecting immediate results that you start distancing yourself from the vibration of what you desire. The act of waiting becomes a form of anxiety, and anxiety in turn lowers your vibration, pushing away what you want. The art of detachment is about fully trusting the process, believing that what you desire is already underway, even if you don't yet see tangible signs. It's about living in the present, enjoying the journey, without being fixated on the idea that something needs to happen for you to feel fulfilled. When you let go, you create space for synchronicities to manifest more fluidly and naturally. It's as if the universe is waiting for you to stop clinging to expectation so it can deliver what you want in an even better way than you imagined. When you start letting go of expectation, you also eliminate one of the biggest saboteurs of manifestation: doubt. Doubt arises from excessive attachment to results. You start questioning, will this work? Am I doing enough? This cycle of doubts only feeds more resistance. The key to dissolving this is having faith in the process, regardless of the signs the physical world is showing at the moment. A simple exercise to practice detachment is disconnected visualization. When visualizing your goal, do it with intensity, as if it's real. However, when you finish the practice, let go of control. Tell yourself, now that I've visualized, I'll live my day knowing that everything is aligning without needing to force or control how things will happen. This simple act of letting go creates space for the flow of energy and signals to the universe that you trust the process. Detachment is one of the greatest superpowers you can develop on your manifestation journey. It raises your vibration because you're operating from a state of faith, peace, and trust rather than need, scarcity, or impatience. The key to accessing the flow of instant manifestation lies in the power of now. The mind, in its natural state, tends to get lost in the past or future, but the real power to manifest lies in the present moment. When you're fully present, you connect with the frequency of what you desire, and the universe responds instantly. Manifestation begins to occur in the now, the moment you align your thought, emotion, and action. But how do you enter this state? How do you make your vibration so attuned to manifestation that it happens almost immediately? The answer lies in mindfulness. The more you focus on the present, the more you slow down your thoughts and eliminate distractions. By doing this, you allow the energy of the now to flow more directly. And this is the state that enables quick manifestation, a state of full attention without mental resistance. The practice of mindfulness can be incorporated into any moment of your day. A simple exercise is conscious breathing. When you feel disconnected or anxious, pause for a moment, breathe deeply, and bring your attention fully to your breath. Feel each inhale and exhale. By doing this, you interrupt the cycle of thoughts that keep your mind in the past or future, and return to the present moment where your energy can flow more naturally. Another powerful practice to access the flow of manifestation is presence meditation. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and focus on your body. Observe your physical sensations. There's no need to focus on a specific goal. The simple act of being present with your body, your breath, and the space around you opens doors to what you want to manifest, because you're allowing your energy to align with the now. When you enter the flow of manifestation, opportunities start to arise, synchronicities appear, and you begin to notice that the universe is conspiring in your favor, as if everything is aligning perfectly. The secret lies in not fighting against the flow, but in trusting it and fully living in the now. Reprogramming your mind for long-term success begins with a simple yet powerful concept: positive thinking. But beware, we're not talking about superficial positive thinking based on ignoring difficulties or simply putting on a happy mask. We're talking about deep reprogramming, where you replace your limiting beliefs with empowering, lasting ones. This process is essential to align your mind with the principles of the law of attraction. When you reprogram your mind, you're essentially transforming the way you see yourself and the world around you. Positive thoughts aren't just about saying, "I am successful" or "I am capable." They must be accompanied by a genuine internal conviction that these affirmations are your new reality. Positive thinking is about shifting your internal energy from scarcity to abundance, from doubt to confidence, from fear to courage. The first step is to identify and replace the negative thoughts that constantly arise. Notice the moments when You feel insecurity or anxiety. What are the automatic thoughts that pop up during these times? When you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "this will never happen," stop immediately. These are limiting thoughts, and your task is to transform them. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," replace it with, "I am capable of learning and growing. Anything is possible for me." Additionally, practicing daily gratitude is crucial. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions for raising your frequency and reprogramming your mind. When you start focusing on the things you're grateful for, you begin to shift your perspective on life. Gratitude is the key to moving from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. By expressing gratitude, you send a clear signal to the universe that you already have what you desire, and this attracts more into your life. Creative visualization is also a powerful tool in the process of mental reprogramming. Dedicate a few minutes each day to visualize your success, your dreams realized, as if they're already a reality. This creates new neural connections and rewires your brain to believe that success is not only possible, but inevitable. Visualization should be accompanied by emotion. It's not enough to just imagine what you want. You must feel the experience as if it's already happening. Finally, the key to lasting positive thinking is consistency. It's not enough to change your mindset for a day or two and expect big changes. You need to stay focused, practice every day, and keep reinforcing your new beliefs, even on tough days. Long-term success comes from constant practice and commitment to change. Now that you've understood and applied these powerful strategies to overcome mental laziness and align your mind, emotions, and actions, true transformation begins when you integrate these concepts into your daily life. Consistent practice is the key to lasting change. For your manifestation efforts to become real and tangible, you must live these principles every moment, incorporating them into every aspect of your life. The first step to integrating these concepts is to create daily routines that include practices of mindfulness, gratitude, visualization, and positive affirmations. Start your day with a brief meditation or a mindful breathing practice to prepare your mind for manifestation. Every morning, as you wake up, remind yourself that you're creating your reality in the present moment. There's no need to wait for the perfect moment or ideal conditions to begin. The perfect moment is now. Integrate creative visualization throughout your day. Instead of making it an isolated practice, use short moments to visualize your goals while you're in traffic, waiting for a meeting, or even during a break at work. The more you connect with your vision, the easier it becomes for the universe to start aligning with it. Another important aspect of integration is taking inspired action without procrastination. When you take action, even if it seems small or insignificant, you're creating an energy flow that accelerates the manifestation process. The key here is to act without attachment, without rushing, and with confidence in what you're doing. As you act in alignment with your vision, you start noticing signs that things are moving in your direction. And of course, the practice of detachment remains crucial. If you start to feel anxious or impatient, remember that the universe is already orchestrating everything perfectly. Resist the urge to control every detail. Practice trust, knowing that everything will happen at the right time. True transformation occurs when you incorporate these habits and thoughts into every part of your life. This creates a constant, solid vibrational shift, aligning you with what you want to manifest. When you live with this mindset, manifestations won't be something you wait for. They'll become a natural part of your daily experience. The power of manifestation will always be within reach because you'll always be aligned with your true potential.